Hello, my marvellous sausages. A bit of fantastic news here in regard to the Riven's Wishes that we're going to be getting for the next 6 weeks. Now, the Riven's Wishes are tokens that you can earn via Mara in the Helm, and once you complete whatever activities they want you to complete, like, for example, we've got to do Dreaming City activities this week and complete the Rift Generator public event. Once you've done that, you can swap them for various rewards with her in the Helm. Now, I've already done a video on the Last Wish raid weapons and which ones you should be going for with the red borders, not red bars, I keep on saying that, that's little creatures. Red borders, you know, the craftable ones. But something came up in my stream last night, and basically we found out that free-to-play players can also collect the Lightfall exotics. Now, you could only have these before if you'd owned the Lightfall expansion, but because of this Riven's Wish, which is something as a bit of a stopgap while they've pushed back the final shape, so if you don't have the Lightfall expansion, you can claim any of these Lightfall exotics without owning it, which is completely marvellous. The only catch with this is, and there is a catch of course, some of these exotics, and some of the best ones in here, are strand-based, like the Abeyant Leaps, or the Swarmers for the Warlocks, or the Sitting for the Hunters as well. They're all strand-related. Now, of course, if you haven't got Lightfall, you won't have strand, so those are pretty much not very useful to you unless you're planning on getting Lightfall in the future. But there are a few other exotics there that aren't based on strand that really are worth it picking up and using some of your Riven's tokens on. So let me show you, per class, which ones are the best. Now, first of all, let's have a look at the Warlocks. Now, the strand one is the Swarmers. They're very, very good. I use them in a build where you can fling 5 threadlings at people. They're excellent. But of course, if you haven't got Lightfall, there's no point in you getting it because you haven't got strand. But if you have got strand and you haven't gotten those yet, pick those up. These are excellent. But the one I would really recommend are these, the Briar Bands. Now, what it says here is your Void Souls have a longer duration, and they also gain escalating damage and durability as they defeat targets, and you can retrieve your Void Souls by interacting with them, allowing them to be redeployed. This is excellent because you can just bung it into the mix. They start sucking off all the targets and then they get increasing in power. You can see it counted on your screen. You go and pick up your little Void mate and then dump it somewhere else. So that's a very, very good exotic, and I've done a good build with this as well, which I tend to use quite a lot. So it's a really good one to get for your Warlocks, and of course it's Void, and it's brilliant for you free-to-play players. Marvellous. I do also want to give a little bit of a shout-out to this, the Cenotaph mask, because just look at it. People hate it. I love it. It's so bizarre. That's why I love it. It's great. But it's good for if you're a trace rifle user. Steadily reloads a portion of your equipped trace rifle's magazine from reserves, and you can damage vehicles, boss, or champions with a trace rifle, which marks them as a target. And when an ally defeats a marked target, special ammo is generated for you, and heavy ammo for your allies. It's actually very, very good and very, very useful to you, so that's another one to keep in mind. Now for the Titans, I've got the Pyrogale Gauntlets down here as the real ones to pick up for your free-to-play players. Basically, it modifies Burning Maw into a single high-damage slam of your hammer that creates several cyclones of flame. So once you pop your super, you can slam your hammer down when it turns it into one massive one that you can use to clout loads of bosses. It's very, very good. But it's also got a second string to its bow. Consecration's second slam creates a cyclone of flame. Now, Consecration is one of the solar aspects for Titans. While sliding, activate your charged melee ability to launch a wave of solar energy forward, damaging and scorching targets in front of you as you leap into the air. And then while you're airborne, you can activate the charge melee again to slam down into the ground and create a second larger wave of damaging solar energy. Plus, that means you're also going to create the solar wave of the flaming mauls, the cyclone of flames rather. So that's a double-stringed bow, that one, for the Pyrogale Gauntlets, which is excellent. Now, these gauntlets are the only ones that are tied to a free-to-play subclass, unfortunately, because the others are all either strand or stasis. You've got the Arbor Warden, so your class ability grants a barricade grenade, or you've got the Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap, which improves your diamond lances. I can't really recommend either of those, really. I don't think they're particularly great. I do like these, though, but these are tied to strand. These are the Abeyant Leaps. What happens when you pop a barricade as a Titan, a strand Titan? You put a little doodah out, which strings people up, suspends them. Well, this triples it to 3 projectiles instead of just the 1, which is excellent as well. And you can also gain Woven Mail when you're suspending targets. This is great if you've already got strand and you haven't picked up a pair of these yet. That's well worth picking up too. Now, for hunters, I was going to have a bit of difficulty recommending something, but that's not true at all. Right? Because I use these Speed Loader Slacks They're amazing! Now, I used them with a Void Hunter here, and basically, dodging boosts reload speed, handling, and airborne effectiveness for you and nearby allies. While the buff is active, final blows and additional dodges increase the buff strength and refresh the timer, and it maxes out at 5 stacks. So basically, you can instigate the tight fit buff by dodging, and then once you kill things, it keeps it up to ×5, and it was reloading everything so incredibly fast. I found it really, really useful in really hectic situations. Particularly, in this Void build that I've got at the moment with my Hunter, I'm utilizing, the aspects, the Stylish Executioner, and also a Vanishing Step, so it makes you invisible, plus, of course, defeating a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target grants invisibility, and I was just screaming through things. It's really, really good fun to use, so I would heartily recommend those speed loader slacks for Hunters. They're really very good. If you're enjoying the vid, drop me a like. Now, I did have a try of these, the Triton Vice. These are good if you like using glaives. It increases the glaive reload speed and melee damage when surrounded, and the glaive melee final blows overflow around to the magazine. The glaive projectile final blows detonate if the glaive deals damage matching the subclass type. So what I was using was the gauntlet, not the gauntlet, what do you call it? The glaive here, the Judgment of Kel'Garath, and I was running a solar subclass. So you were getting explosions when you were killing with the glaive projectile, and it was overflowing the glaive as well, up to 9 slots, or 9 bullets in the pipe, I suppose you could say, and it improves the melee as well. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good if you like using glaives. The other outsider are these, the Mothkeeper's Wraps. I haven't used them that much, didn't really think too much of them. Your grenade becomes a cage of moths that release on impact and fly towards the nearest target or an ally. If they hit a target, they'll detonate blindingly. If they reach an ally, they'll give them a void shield that includes you as well. Now, they can be used in tandem with the Exdiris, which is the exotic grenade launcher from Season of the Witch, but you do need Lightfall in order to be able to purchase the Exdiris from the exotic kiosk, unfortunately. All it does is adds a bit more functionality to the moths created by the Exdiris, because then the Void Overshield works there too. But unfortunately, you need Lightfall for that, so it's a bit of a moot point as far as free-to-play players are concerned. So, if I had to pick one from each, and I was a free-to-play player, for my Warlock, I would go and get the Briar Bands. For my Hunter, I would get the Speed Loader Slacks. And for the Titans out there, I'd go for the Pyrogale Gauntlets. Each of these are great choices and will really power you up. I really urge you to have a go at these Speed Loader Slacks. They're great fun. Now, of course, you may be aware as well, you can get these Last Wish weapons. I've done a whole video on these Last Wish weapons. If you want to go and have a look and see what are the best ones to go for, and once you get it, what is the best roll to craft. The link here is at the top of the screen now, yes. Let me know in the comments if you've got a different choice, or you've got some great builds with some of the other exotics that I've missed. That would be great to hear, as I love to hear all your build ideas. Totally marvellous. And don't forget, if you did enjoy the vid, a like and subscribe really helps me out. And that's it for me for today. Tomorrow. Thanks very much for watching. Sausage out.